Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session entitled Automating Field Service Through Work Orders in Mobile. My name is Richard Pecora. I'm an account executive for Ledgeview Partners. With me today I also have Mr. Tom Lemer, one of our senior consultants at Ledgeview Partners. He'll be providing the demonstration in just a few minutes. Before we begin, I have a couple of housekeeping items. All the attendees will be put on hold. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please use the question box in the GoToMeeting window. And also the webinar will be recorded and will be available on our website in the OnDemand Library. So if you did miss it, or if you know some of your colleagues have missed it, you can certainly go up there and have them watch it. So we really appreciate you attending today. I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. As some of you know that we're on our earlier one, we gave you a general overview of field service, and today we're going to dive deeper into the field service, work orders, and mobility capabilities. Personally, I've been providing field service solutions for a number of years now, and I've never seen a laser-focused delivery of new technologies that's helping companies transform the way that they service their customers and manage their field service operations. But besides that, it's also providing competitive advantages and new revenue streams. And this is just the beginning. I think technology is just going to keep increasing quickly, as we all know. The agenda today is pretty short and simple. Quick introduction for those of you who don't know who Ledgeview Partners is. A couple of industry insights that I think might be of interest to you. A little teaser question on some technology and a look at the future. And then the majority of the time we're just going to dive right into the Microsoft solution. So a little bit about Ledgeview Partners. As a CRM consulting company, we've aligned ourselves with the two market leaders, Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Today we'll be showing the Microsoft solution. Our goal is to help customers better align the areas of their business that directly impacts the customer experience. This generally impacts the sales, marketing, customer services, and then the operation departments, which is kind of new to this area. Our team of consultants are full-time employees. They have many years of CRM experience across many industry verticals. We bring a lot of expertise to every project that we do. We advise our customers on the best practices for a successful project, no matter what platform that they choose. To sum it all up, our culture with our customers and the relationships we have, the one statistic that just pops out is we have a 98% customer retention. And I think that says a lot about our projects, about our team, and about our company as a whole. So why all the focus on service management? We're a service-based economy now. This transformation actually kind of started in the 1960s, but really culminated into 1990s. If you're still a manufacturer today, manufacturing companies are finding that to continue with their customers and keeping them loyal, that they have to provide better service to them. So that's why the service departments are becoming more and more important. So on this slide, as you can see, this was a poll of manufacturing companies, and I think that basically the service departments are pretty vital to the survival of manufacturing companies as well as just strictly service companies as a whole. Service departments are no longer seen as just cost centers. They're revenue generators. Technology is the only way to really stay competitive and stay in business. So these 3 points were just pulled out of a survey of peers and maybe some of your competition as well. So a little bit of fun. I have a question. What is this picture? Everybody's familiar with the Pokemon Go application and game. And this picture, what do they have in common? They both use augmented reality. And so augmented reality is one of those technologies that are coming into play within service companies today. I was at a Microsoft retail store just the other day, and they're going to start demonstrating the HoloLens. It's not in production yet. It's supposed to be coming out sometime next year. So just a sneak peek at some technologies that are going to be used in the future and we'll be adding on to the functionality within CRM. So a lot of people, including me, think CRM is the new ERP, and I believe that's because it's centered around the customer and not accounting principles. This picture depicts how core CRM functionality of managing sales, marketing has grown to include customer service, project service, and the topic today, field service. I think the value of this model is that the business apps all interact intuitively with each other because they're all built on that same platform within CRM. What it does is it reduces costly integration strategies that we're all familiar with. So with that said, let's see how it all works. And again, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Tom Lemer. He's a senior consultant at Ledgeview Partners, and he also provides pre-sales support for our sales team. Tom, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Richard. All right. So as Richard mentioned, I'm going to be showing you field service within Dynamics CRM 2016 today. This is CRM 2016 online. This is the spring release, which is the most latest release available. Just to note that the fall release is coming out very shortly. We just had a preview session on it just this last week. And what I can tell you is that they are making improvements and enhancements to field service and the service module and CRM in general. And a lot of them are end user improvements. We can't get into too much information just yet. We're still kind of in the beta testing of that, but it's something that you'll be seeing coming out in the next month or two, just kind of some of the information. But what I can tell you is that they are really focusing on the end user experience for this release, and so they're doing a lot of nice enhancements that's going to provide a lot of value to the end users. And field service, as Richard has mentioned, is one of the core pieces that CRM is really, building on and growing within their whole platform. And so there are some nice features and functionality that is coming out in the fall release. As Richard mentioned, is that this is our second series in the whole service the service module within CRM. Today we're going to be showing you the core functionality of field service. So right now I have active work order screen up, but I want to show you what's all available in field service. And so we are going to be really focusing on the core pieces that are there that you can see on the left-hand side here of work orders, schedule boards, resource bookings. We'll also talk, around customer assets and accounts and contacts and things like that. But we're really going to be focusing on what is a work order, what can you do inside of a work order, how does a dispatcher utilize this tool? What are some of the capabilities that the dispatcher has? And then more importantly, we're going to go into and see what a field agent's experience is in the field. So that is really what we're going to be focusing on today. Again, we only have 45 minutes, so we can't get into everything that's in field service. As you notice, there's a lot of other stuff that you can do in field service, but please look for a future webinar that we're going to be doing that's going to be showing you the additional features and functionality as in agreements, invoicing, warehousing, inventory, purchase orders, RMAs, and additional functionality. And if it's after that fall release, we can show you some of the additional functionality that the fall release is providing too. So this is a multiple part webinar just because of how in depth and how many features and functionalities there are within the field service application here. So with that being said, I'm jumping right into work orders. And I know last time we talked about cases, and cases is kind of the central area within the service module. But a case is an incident or a complaint or maybe a request, something that they have, and from a case, you can actually convert a case right into a work order. So I know we went through that during the last demo, so I'm not going to go into that. So we're just going to focus directly on the work orders right now. So here are my list of work orders, and again, those of you that maybe are not familiar with Dynamics CRM, I'll just quickly give you an overview of how the navigation works. So across the top is the navigation area. There's different modules within Dynamics CRM. As we mentioned, today we are focusing specifically on field service, and that's what I just showed you before. But then as you get into the different modules, then you have these different views of your data. So we are looking at active work orders right now. So this is just the view of all of our work orders that are in active status that are within our CRM environment. So if you look at the system status, you can tell there's different types of, different statuses the work orders are in. So we have scheduled, in progress, unscheduled. There's also some statuses here for send to invoicing, where we can get into accounting and things like that. Like I mentioned, we're going to cover that at a future webinar, but really today we're just going to be looking at how you can get it from unscheduled to scheduled to in progress, and we'll show you the whole process to go from getting a work order all the way to the field agent working on it. So with that, I am going to open up a work order right here just to show you what the work order has inside of it. We're not going to be able to go into the in-depth pieces of this. There's a lot of features, there's a lot of configuration, there's a lot of setup, there's a lot of design, there's a lot of analysis that goes into this. Like Richard mentioned, is that the technology is now here to do a lot of really neat stuff, but with that being said, there's still a lot of setup and there's a lot of configuration that needs to be done, and a lot of discussions on how you want to set up your Field 1 environment and how it makes sense, to set up for how your organization wants to utilize it. But I'm just going to cover some of the basics within the work order, and then we'll jump into how a dispatcher takes these work orders and then starts scheduling them, and then that's really going to be kind of the meat of this demo, is really showing you how easy it is to use, how easy it is to schedule, and how easy it is for a field agent to be able to utilize everything that's being done within the CRM application. So with that, I opened up a work order. Again, on the top here, you can see a business process flow. If there's different ways that you want to, how to manage a work order, again, you can use this business process flow to go through different stages and steps that you need to do. It's something that some organizations utilize, others don't, but if you have a formal process that you want someone to follow when they're managing and creating a work order, the business process flow is a great tool that can be turned on inside the work orders. In general, the work orders is made up of, the information, of course, who's your service account, billing account, you have your different statuses here, but then you can just have some different information around the work order. I'm going to focus over here on the right-hand side. There's things here called incidents. Incidents within a work order is actually, think of it as a template. So I can have different templates, and based on my different templates, that will really tell me what am I doing, who should I be scheduling, what type of skill sets should my people have, and all that can be set up within these different incidents. So this one is an inspection. Because this is an inspection, what this did now is that it automatically configured some related entities to this. And if I go up here, and as you know, if I click on this drop down next to the actual work order number, it gives me the related information around this work order. So what this did is that since I picked the incident of MRI inspection, it actually went through here and set up my products, my services, and my service tasks. And let's dive into what each one of those are. So let's look at the products. So these, for doing an MRI inspection, these are the products that we need to have, that the field tech needs to have on hand in order to do that inspection properly. So again, if you have trucks, or if you have different equipment that people should have, you can put your different products in here, or different items that they should be having, and then this will really let them know what they need to have before they go and do the actual work order. So you can set these, these products up, and again, this is all templated, so I do not need to go in there each time I set up a work order and do this. So hopefully there's some work orders and some processes that you do over and over again, and that's where the incident templates really come into play. So we can do the products. We can say, what are they actually doing when they go there? So here is, the actual services that are being done. And so they're saying do the MRI sanitation. And that's a 1-hour process. And again, you can set more information around this, but just generally it is just a service what they're doing. Then we can also do service tasks. So you know what the actual service is and there's information around there, but you can give them a checklist on what they should be doing, during their call there. So, let's make sure that we're measuring the usage, looking at making sure that we're giving them an estimate on any issues or any maintenance that needs to be done. Again, if you have any specials that you want them to be promoting, again, just making sure that they understand or remember to talk about that. And of course, collecting the customer signature. So these are just like checklist items that you can provide the field agent. And again, it can be specific to the different types of tasks that you're doing or specific incidents that you have templated out. Otherwise, of course, you can just create your own if you have a specific, let's say it's a unique service call that you need to do, you can just create and add all this stuff directly into your work order manually. It just depends on, how much you can redo through the incidents. Otherwise, you can manually create these also. So I'm going to go back to my work order. Another thing that I can do here is that, again, I can tell what my bookings are. So through here, this means that this has been scheduled, and I can go into here and see who it's been scheduled for. So let me open up this booking, and now I can see that Brady Hannon was the one that has been booked on this, and I can see some, estimated arrival time. So this is just some information. Now, again, we talked about that we're going to be going to dispatchers. This is just what the dispatchers will actually be filling in, but they do not need to use this format. So what I want to do now is I want to switch over to, I'm going to go back to my field service area. And so we were focusing on work orders right now. What I want to do now is go back and focus on how a dispatcher would utilize this. So let's go to our schedule board. This is a really nice feature that they built within the field service area that gives you a nice visual and a very interactive way to schedule your work orders within within the appropriate times to the appropriate resource. So let's just take a look at what we see here. So within this schedule board now, of course, you see the actual day to day. You can see work orders that are already being scheduled. You can see different resources along the side and where their resource allocation is. So, Joseph is a little booked right now, but, Ephraim and some others can get some things scheduled for them. So you are able to see their resource percentage based on what's scheduled for them. Another thing is that it's very colorful. So through here, I can tell what the different statuses are of the different work orders. So green means that they have been completed. I'm probably not great on explaining my different colors, but dark blue here, it means that they're in progress. The kind of the lighter faded blue here means that they're scheduled, but they haven't been acted upon at all yet. If we keep scrolling down, orange means that they're on break right now. So there's all different types of statuses. And what I can do on that status and how I can tell or how I can set the status is that if I actually right click on these, notice this is change status. So these are all the different statuses that we have currently configured. And there's actually sub-statuses underneath here. So if I want to say that, there's different things about maybe in progress, I can have different sub-statuses underneath the main statuses. Right now I just have kind of the core statuses configured here, but I can do sub-statuses underneath here. And based on all this, the color changes. So I, as a dispatcher, can change the status, but more importantly, I will show you how the status can be changed through the mobile device within a portable device, and then from there it automatically will update my schedule board. So how do I get this? How do I get this schedule board? So there's multiple different ways to manage your schedule board here. So notice down here is that I have a view called unscheduled work orders. So I can configure a view to give me all my unscheduled work orders, and it can be very simple. So I can scroll down here and look at some of my resources, and keep scrolling here, and most of my resources are pretty booked. I'm going to minimize these and go down to some other resources. I see Spencer's a little low right now. Spencer doesn't have anything scheduled. So I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to say, okay, 004, yep, I know about Bellows College. I know stuff about Bellows. I'm good enough that, as a dispatcher, I know that Spencer can handle that. So I'm just going to click, drag and drop, and I'm going to say that this is going to start at 10 a.m. So just by me dragging and dropping from the unscheduled, it automatically schedules this. And now, again, Spencer can get notified behind the scenes. He can get a ping. He can get a text. He can get an email. He can get all the above, and just letting him know that a new work order has been scheduled for him today. I can also, as you notice, I can hover over these work orders and you can configure what fields get set up. So if I want to see more information on here, I can also configure how these work orders look and what information is on these work orders within the schedule boards. So this is all configurable. Like I mentioned before, lots of configuration, lots of flexibility. Just have to make sure that we're adhering to what you need to see and do, within the field service module. So that's where a lot of the prep work, a lot of the design, a lot of the analysis comes into play. But let's say sometimes I don't know, who these different people are, and sometimes I just need to go and it's just based on, I would like to see and kind of give me some suggestions on who's available. So I can also go through here, and I'm going to look at my map view. Now, what I'm going to say is that the demo data in here is on both of the coasts. It's either in the Seattle, Washington area, or it's in the Washington, D.C. area. So we're going to focus more on the Seattle area today during our demo. So I'm just going to scroll, and actually I'm going to expand this chart a little bit more so we can get a little bit more real estate on here. But as you notice here, you can see a grouping of all these different pins and different colors. And I don't want to give away too much, again, because I can't relay too much information, but I'm going to say that this experience right here is one of the areas that they are enhancing with the fall release. So there's going to be a little bit more flexibility and functionality in this visual, in this area coming with the fall release. But with that, I can hover over the different areas. I can see if they're a resource, if they're a scheduled work order, and I can see where different people are. But I know these kind of grayish ones are unscheduled work orders. So from here, I can just take a look at this, and now I'm like, okay, I want to use my scheduling assistant. This is just one area where I can use my scheduling assistant. I just did it through here because I wanted to show you this map view. So it just gives you another capability to kind of see where people are, where my scheduled work orders are, where my unscheduled work orders are. But through this, I can use the schedule assistant. I can also use the schedule assistant outside of this dispatcher board. I can do it right from my work order or other areas within CRM. So this can be called through multiple different areas in CRM. But what this does is that, let me click on the scheduling assistant. And what it looks for is that it knows about different things. So I can do different characteristics. I can do different territories. I can pick what type of resources I need. One thing I didn't mention is that, most of the resources that you saw on there were all people resources. So it's either my internal people, maybe contractors I use. However I want to configure that within my CRM, I can configure those resources. I can also do, let's say, equipment. Let's say I have a specific truck, or maybe I have a specific ladder or equipment that I need to rent, or that I need to, not every one of my field agents has that equipment, so I need to, schedule it for certain types of jobs. I can have equipment as one of my resources on here. So there's just lots of different ways to pick and choose what you want. This one they need building access. I pretty much want them in my Washington territory. I don't want them driving too much. I want them within a 20-mile radius right now. So, if they are 2 hours away, I don't want to schedule them because I want something, quickly that I can get them. So let me do this, and I'll just search my resources. So what this is going to do is look to see, who fits the skill set, who fits my different criteria that I have set through here. And if there's other certain skills that are needed, I can add that into here. But notice I have 2 people that are available today, and I have a couple people that are available tomorrow, or a few more people available tomorrow. I would like to do something today, so right from here I am able to go through here and I am able to, schedule this right from here. Maybe I need to adjust the time a little bit, but I can schedule it right from my schedule board, and it gives me that flexibility to make sure that I'm finding the people with the appropriate skills, with the appropriate location, and then hopefully I am meeting my customers' needs by the timing of it. So that is really the core areas around the scheduling assistant here. It gives you that capability to, dynamically create who's got the skill sets and then find that. The one thing I do want to tell you is that this is still a manual process, meaning that I need to go and actually hit the scheduling assistant before it goes and calculates who should be filled in, on my available resources. Oh, I also want to show you this component. This is kind of nice too, is that it does map it out and it shows you where the different people are located, where the job is. So the job is here and where my different people are. So it does give me, now a little bit better, idea of where the locations are and who I need to be, who's a good fit, from a mapping view. But like I mentioned, this is a manual. They are in the process of releasing an auto routing scheduler. Again, that uses many algorithms kind of behind the scenes that you configure. That is an actual add-on product that they are currently testing right now. They had it with their old product. Now that they have upgraded the field service module, they've been needing to tweak that a little bit. It's in beta testing, and some select customers have been testing that for them. We feel that by the end of this year, that should be available, a general release. And so with that being said, is that that's an add-on component that now you can use an auto scheduler to route your your field techs, or to schedule your field techs. And again, it just depends on your volume and how many you need to schedule, and it just looks at all that information and all the algorithms. So what you're seeing here is a manual process. They do have an automated process coming shortly. All right. So that is the scheduling assistant, and again, going back to the scheduling board right here, there are capabilities to create different views. So I can go into here to create a new view of this. So sometimes people ask us that maybe if I'm West Coast or East Coast, or if I have different ones that I want to see different time periods, you are able to create different views and different filters on these views, and through there is just all through the tabs. So just like you can within Dynamics CRM, a dispatcher can personalize this board for themselves, and then have multiple different tabs or multiple different views to allow them to most efficiently see what's being done there, or to just look at different areas or different resources specifically by the filters that they choose. All right. The last thing here is that I didn't bring up this, so this is a details area. So again, if I'm looking at this, it just shows me again some more information around that work order. So if I want to see the core details, or if I double click on it, it actually brings up the work order. So that is how, that is the functionality around how a dispatcher would, take an unscheduled work order, put it on the board, get it scheduled, and then behind the scenes that would go out and alert, the field agent. So with that being said, now let's go and look at what the field agent's experience is. So within the product, there is a mobile application. And this is available on all the core mobile devices, so iPads and iPhones, Androids, and Windows machines, of course. So with that, all right. Let me go here. I just got to set this up. So while we're waiting for this, unfortunately, I got to reset this piece. Has there been any questions on the schedule board that anyone has asked yet? Richard, I don't know if you can monitor that, or Andy.
Yeah, Tom, there's one question here. I can read it to you actually. Our field service texts are sent out to customer sites for days or weeks at a time rather than hours. So can the schedule board scale to show a week or a month at a time instead of just one day?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So again, this is more on the the hourly ones, but it can go days, it can go weeks. And if you notice on here, so this is a good example. So Brady is going out here, and this one right here is actually scheduled for, if you notice, 9 days. And so Brady is going to be scheduled for 9 days, but throughout there you can also schedule stuff inside of that. So maybe Brady's out there, at a certain location, but during that time he can take little side trips to other areas or to other, to other jobs or other work orders, or maybe there's just work orders at this plant or this facility, and there's, you have to make sure that they're out there for 9 days, but then within that you can do like little sub orders or work orders underneath those and schedule them during that time. So yes, it is available for more than just the hours that you're seeing here. The hours are really because it makes it look nice, but it does allow you to do it more than just an hour at a time. And then you can also configure how your boards look. I only showed 1 day at a time, but there are settings here that you can set, that you can say how many days, what am I looking at, how much do I want to set up, what is my time zone, all those things. So number of days I want to be displaying here. So I can show all that within my board and configure it from a dispatcher standpoint. All right, here we go. So within all the major stores, like I mentioned, there is an app out there. I'm going to say that this app is different than if you know what they call the Mocha app within Dynamics CRM. So the Dynamics CRM application that you can use to manage, let's say, your opportunities and accounts and contacts and things like that, is actually built on an infrastructure that Microsoft built. This field service one is actually built on a tool called Resco. Resco is a third-party application that adds even more configuration capabilities than the default Microsoft application has, and so that is why field service is using the Resco app. So it's actually a whole separate download. It comes with your subscription, and so as long as your reps have a basic CRM license and then the field service license, that is what's needed to be able to utilize and configure this web application, or sorry, this mobile application. So it is going to look a little bit different from the Mocha client, but the biggest thing is that you have a lot more flexibility on how you can configure this and what you can configure and what they can show you. And there's actually a whole configuration wizard and whole configuration application that you can utilize that, again, goes into the whole part of implementing your environment, where now you can really customize and configure the mobile aspect or the mobile experience for your field agents. All right, with that being said, let's just take a look at some of the high-level pieces that are available in here. You can have your dashboards. You can have dashboards in here. You can have interactive maps. You can go into here and, like, if I click on accounts, like I mentioned, you can do accounts and contacts in the Microsoft app. You can also have accounts and contacts that are specifically related to the service accounts that they're going after. So now you can assign accounts to different reps, or maybe show them only the accounts that they have work orders for. This will then just give them a nice way to be able to look at the information that they need to, and then more specifically, the contacts that are there. So these are just, again, the contacts that they may need to be working with, the information, emailing, phone calls, all that functionality they can do right from here. But what's more critical is looking at what they're doing with their day. So I am signed in right now as an admin, so it shows me everything. So I'm just going to filter and show you what Wilson is going to be doing today. So let this load to get Wilson's information here. So these are, what the the different work orders that are there. Now notice these can be configured a lot better to show more information on here, but by just clicking on any of these items, just by highlighting it, now it goes back and starts showing you all the work order information. And as I mentioned before, is that I showed you on the schedule board that you can change the different statuses. Right through here is where the actual agent can go into here and change the different statuses. So right now, you know what, Wilson is working on this one, so he's going to change this this status right now, and he's going to change it to that he's in progress. And then, you know, now it's going to start start calculating how long he's been working on it and different things like that. But this just gives him an overview of what the actual work order is. But now I can keep going into and gain more and more information. Let's say Wilson needs to know how to get there, so I can do my map. And of course, if your device has the GPS on it, you can do, you know, you can click on it to navigate, you know, kind of turn-by-turn instructions how to get there from where they're at. If I did that right now, it would give me turn-by-turn instructions how to get from Wisconsin to Washington. So it does take a little bit of time, but that's just because of, again, the demo data has mostly been Washington, the Seattle area. But now I can go into here and jump into and start looking at, you know, what is the specific information? I'm doing an inspection. It's a regulatory inspection. You know, I can set some different items here, but I can just see the different information about my work order and about my scheduled. I can look at some other information, you know, right from here. If I need to say that, hey, there's a follow-up that needs to be done, I can click on this, and now this will, you know, whatever note I put into here will automatically now trigger a follow-up, you know, either on the dispatcher side, or if you have a different way that you need to follow up, again, this can just trigger a note that, hey, we need to follow up on this account, and you can just put your notes in here. Now, again, with this being a mobile device, I can use my voice to text capabilities, so I don't have to type in everything. So here are the notes that I need you to follow up on for this work order. Thanks. And again, now very easily it allows me to, you know, put my notes into here very quickly. I can look at other information through here. Now notice I have my service tasks, my products, my services through here. So if I want to go through here and I want to see, you know, what should I be doing through here? Now I have on here, what are my different items that I'm seeing? You know, I need to measure the energy usage, you know, giving them the free estimate. I need to talk to them about the summer promotion. If there's more information to this, I can click on any of these to provide that. So again, everything that I have configured within my CRM is all available through the actual mobile app. So more importantly is that I want to go through here and I have some notes that I need to start taking on here. And one of the things that we get a question on a lot of times is that, hey, I want my agents to go into, and let's say they're doing a service on a machine, and we need to take before and after pictures because we just want to make sure that the customer and we are ensuring that we know what it looked like before and we know what it looked like after. So if anything ever happens after that, that they know that, you know, here's the picture of what it looked like when we left it. So it's not something that, you know, our warranty or maybe our services did. So right from my mobile device, I am able to pick on this. I'll let it do that. You can just see my, so we'll do a nice little picture here. We'll say use that photo, and if I want to put, you know, notes on here, if I want to put additional information on here, I can do that. But right from my, you know, right from my device, I can take a picture of my nice messy desk here. So I'll just save that back. But that really gives, you know, the rep or the agent, I should say, a lot of information, you know, at their fingertips. They know how to utilize, you know, they know what they need to be doing. They can plan their day. They can see what's on their schedule. They can get alerts. They can get text alerts when stuff gets scheduled to them. So everything can be done from an agent standpoint from their mobile device. They should never have to log into CRM. Unless you want them to do some sort of logging, they should never have to access the CRM application. everything can be done through this mobile device. And then, with that, again, the signature piece of this. So now at the end, we said that we wanted to collect the signature. So right from here, I can just go through here and have them sign it, so they know that the work order has been completed, and I can save that signature right onto this work order now. So that is the experience that you're going to that you see. So we started off, looking at how you set up and configure a work order. We showed you how a dispatcher can schedule that work order, and then once it's scheduled, we did show you how a field agent can go and look at their work orders, see what they need to do, and then actually log and save back, pictures, signatures, notes, updates. All that can be done right from the mobile device. And like I mentioned, it's available for the major tablets and also for the phones. The only experience difference with the phone is that instead of scrolling over, you would scroll down just because of the real estate limitations on phones. But nowadays the phones are getting big as tablets anyway, so maybe there's not as much limitation. But anyways, you do have both the capabilities between tablets and phones. So those were the main areas that we wanted to show you. Oh, let me do this. So we were on work order 39. So I do want to switch this back. Go back here. And we were working with Wilson on here. So let me go and open up work order 39. This actually didn't bring me up. Sorry, that didn't bring up the work order. Let me switch back here and go back over to the work orders. I'm going to go up to work order 39. And now through here, I'm able to look at my notes and anything else that are there. So again, anything that is set up through my mobile device will be sent back to my CRM application. So that right now concludes my part of the demo. So I will turn it back to Richard to address any. We have a few minutes to address any questions that may have come up during the time.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate it. Great job, as always. There was actually a couple of questions that maybe, since we've got a couple of minutes, we can just kind of answer here. We will be following up with all the answers to the questions via email, but since we've got a minute here. So the one question was, on completed calls, will it show you duration time, amount of days, hours a call was open for? And I think 2 screens ago, you actually showed where it did have the duration there, but maybe you can answer that.
Yes, it does. It does manage that. And let me just show you, and I can show you this a little bit better. So let me go back to the schedule board here. And this first person right here, so Edgar wants it. Oh, sorry, Ephraim right here. This was a 2-hour, 2.5-hour scheduled one. He was really quick and he completed it. Notice how it changed it to only be the duration actually only went in there for like 20 some minutes because it got 23 minutes was the duration. So notice it has the start and the end time, and it does calculate what that duration is. So yes, it does keep track of that, and you can do those durations down to like a service task level. So you can say I'm starting this service task, I'm ending it, and now you can measure what the duration is.
Okay, thank you. One last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Do you see an overlap between service calendar and schedule board? Will service calendar eventually go away?
That's a great question. I think that's everybody's hope. The service calendar within Dynamics CRM, I'm going to say, is not very robust. This schedule board, it's something that was specifically built for field service, but behind the scenes, it does use some of the resources and things like that the schedule board within Dynamics or within the Dynamics CRM platform had, so it's kind of using some of those same entities. So the hope is that at the end that this is going to replace it, but currently this is only available through the field service application. But again, there's hope that this will replace what Dynamic CRM had for that service calendar.
Awesome, thank you. Well, with that said, we'd like to close off this session. We thank everybody for joining us. Like I said, the recording will be put up on our website shortly. Questions will be sent out with answers via email. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to send them to me on the address that was listed, or you can send it to through our website as well. And we look forward to another announcement for a webinar sometime in the next month or so, and hope you can join us for that. Thank you again, everybody, and hope you have a wonderful day.